Today I'm going to show you what to do when your car's heater stops working. And yes, it's snowing in Houston. It does that once every 10 or 20 years. But this video is more for you northern people. Now let's say you're driving down the road and you turn on your heater and nothing happens. What do? Well, a common fix, at least in the short run, is this. The fan is usually behind the glove box, and if you give it a few whacks, and then it starts blowing, that means your blower motor is wearing out and it needs replacing. Now here's an old broken blower motor. What happens is, inside their brushes, and as they wear out, they won't make a contact. And when you whack it, that gives them a jolt, and they'll often start spinning again. Now, in some cars, they're pretty easy to change. They got 3 bolts holding them, they pop out. Some of them, they're really hard, but hey, I grew up in Niagara Falls when I was a kid. And a lot of guys, hey, they just kick the glove box every once in a while, and they'd go a whole winter still having heat whenever they kicked it. Now, if kicking doesn't work, heck, check the fuse box. Maybe the blower motor is blown, or if it's got a blower motor relay, you can whack the relay, and then if it starts to blow, you know you need a new relay. And they just plug in and out. Now, in many modern cars, the heating system is computer controlled, like in this Lexus. But there's things you can do if they break too. Because what do you do with a computer at home when it doesn't work? You turn it off, then you turn it back on. So in this case, you can turn the system off and turn the car off. Then wait a minute or so, start the car up again, and turn the system on automatic. And if that doesn't work, here's another trick. You can put the sensors all the way down till it gets to cold, then push it again so it goes all the way to hot. Often that'll reset the system, then the heat works. I've had customers of these fancy cars, and over the years they say, yeah, every once in a while they get squirrely, and I just put it on cold and then turn it back up to hot, and somehow something inside clicks and it starts blowing hot air again. Now the next thing to check is your temperature gauge. If you've been driving a while and the temperature gauge stays really low like this and doesn't go back to normal, your thermostat's probably stuck open. Now here's how thermostats work. When your engine's cold, the thermostat stays shut so water doesn't go through the radiator and cool the engine. But if it sticks wide open and water flows all the time in the winter, your engine won't get hot enough to put on any heat. Now in a lot of cars, the thermostats are easy to get to with this big hose. There's 2 bolts here. It unbolts and the new thermostat goes inside. But if you want instant heat, because you're stuck in the middle of nowhere and you want to get warm now, you get a piece of cardboard and you can stick it in front of the radiator. If you want to do a neater job than that, you're going to cut pieces of it off so it fits over half of the radiator. That blocks a lot of the air, and as long as you're careful and watch your temperature gauge and it doesn't get over halfway, you can drive that way. I did that once when I was a kid. I was driving from Detroit all the way through to Toronto, and I was in the middle of the Queen E. Got stuck in a snowstorm. I had no heat. I stuck some cardboard in there. Boy, it got nice and warm and I didn't freeze anymore. And the last possible simple fix is this. Check your radiator fluid. Because if your radiator fluid is low, here's why the heater won't work. The heater core that's inside your car that gives you heat is usually the highest point. So if you're low on coolant in your radiator, the heater core will be full of air and not hot coolant. And as strange as it sounds, the heater core won't work with hot air. It only works with hot coolant. If it's got hot air, you won't get any real heat inside the car. It's got to be hot coolant going through so it can go through all of the little crevices and put heat into your face when the fan blows it through. So sometimes fixing your heater, it's as simple as pouring coolant into your radiator. So now you know some quick ways to get your heater working again in a pinch when it stops working this winter. And remember, if you have any car questions, just visit the Scotty Kilmer channel, and I'll answer them as soon as I get back from this glacier.